The Third Reich didn't collapse because of one bad winter or one unlucky battle. It collapsed because it was built on arrogance, fantasy, and a leader who mistook loud confidence for strategy. In the first 10 seconds of this story, understand this. Adolf Hitler didn't lose World War II because his enemies were stronger. He lost because he made the same deadly mistakes again and again, even when reality screamed at him to stop. This is the hidden history most documentaries rush past. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. This is Hidden History's World War II. Let's get straight into it. Hitler turned war into a one-man show. At the beginning, German generals were experienced, cautious, and dangerously effective. But as victories piled up, Hitler stopped listening. He didn't just lead, he interfered. He overruled battlefield commanders from hundreds of miles away. He rejected retreats even when entire armies were about to be wiped out. In World War II, flexibility meant survival. Hitler chose control instead. By 1943, entire German armies were being ordered to stand still and fight to the last man. Not because it made military sense, but because Hitler believed willpower could defeat artillery, fuel shortages, and air power. It couldn't. The result was catastrophic losses that Germany could never replace. Fighting too many enemies at once. Germany was never strong enough to fight the world. Yet that is exactly what Hitler chose to do. He launched massive campaigns westward, eastward, and across North Africa, all while provoking the largest industrial power on earth into joining the war. World War II was not just fought with tanks and rifles. It was fought with factories. The United States alone produced nearly 300,000 aircraft during the war. Germany could not come close. Every new enemy multiplied the pressure on German resources, manpower, and logistics. Hitler didn't just open too many fronts. He kept them open even when they were bleeding him dry. The Eastern War was a fatal gamble. The invasion of the Soviet Union was not just bold, it was reckless. Germany entered the largest land war in history without enough fuel, winter equipment, or, honestly, any real long-term planning. Hitler believed the enemy would collapse quickly, but, well, it didn't. Instead, German forces were dragged into a grinding war of attrition they were never designed to win. By the end of 1941, hundreds of thousands of German soldiers were suffering from frostbite. By 1943, millions were dead, wounded, or captured. Germany lost more soldiers on the Eastern Front than on all other fronts combined. Once that manpower was gone, it was gone forever. Ideology over reality. Hitler didn't just fight armies, he fought reality itself. His racial ideology pushed him to underestimate enemies, dismiss intelligence, and make decisions based on belief rather than evidence. He ignored reports, rejected bad news, and punished generals who told the truth. This created a leadership culture where, honestly, lies travelled faster than facts. By the later years of World War II, Hitler was planning counterattacks with divisions that, well, no longer existed. On paper, the war looked winnable, but on the ground, Germany was collapsing. Industrial power, really, decided the war. Germany entered World War II with a strong army but a weak long-term economy. It lacked oil, raw materials, and the industrial depth needed for a prolonged global war. While Allied factories ran day and night, German production was disrupted by bombing, shortages, and, constant emergency improvisation. Even worse, Hitler delayed full economic mobilization until it was just too late. Civilian production continued while enemies shifted entirely to war output. By the time Germany reorganized its industry, Allied bombing had already crippled transportation and fuel supplies. Tanks without fuel are just steel boxes. And planes without fuel, well, they never leave the ground. The air war broke Germany from above. German cities were not just bombed, They were systematically dismantled. Railways, factories, refineries, and communication networks were smashed, month after month. By 1944, fuel production had dropped so low that, pilots were actually training on bicycles instead of aircraft. Air superiority meant the Allies could move freely, while Germany, simply could not. Supplies couldn't reach the front. Reinforcements arrived late, or not at all. World War II was won as much in the sky as on the battlefield, and Germany lost control of it decisively. Hitler refused to admit defeat. The final reason Hitler lost World War II is, honestly, the simplest and the most human. He just could not admit he was wrong. Even when defeat was obvious, he demanded total resistance. Cities were destroyed, civilians suffered, armies were sacrificed for symbolism. A smarter leader might have negotiated earlier, preserved lives, and limited destruction. But, Hitler chose annihilation instead. His personal pride sealed Germany's fate long before the last shots were fired. The real lesson hidden in the ruins is this. World War II was not lost in one battle or 1 year. It was lost through obsession, denial, and arrogance at the very top. Hitler's greatest weakness was not his enemies. It was his refusal to learn, adapt, or listen. That is the real history hidden beneath the explosions and speeches. And it matters because, honestly, these patterns repeat whenever power goes unchecked. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you subscribe to Hidden History's World War II for more stories the textbooks rush past. Share this video with someone who loves history but wants the truth behind it. And remember, history doesn't just tell us what happened, it warns us what happens next.